Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another reading. We are here today to see what is coming up in the next week. I'm so excited. So here I have the Muse Tarot deck. Let's get going. Right. We have the sun, which is beautiful because today is definitely very sunny here. Um, I think it's going to be a great week. The sun card always indicates a week of yeah, you can see here, it's just a week where you're very much lit up, you're shining brightly, you are being seen. Perhaps you're just so are going to be in your element. And that will definitely be seen. That will definitely be noticed. Something very great is coming. Sun card is like a happy card. You will be much happier actually. The way you feel and the way you appear is like how your characteristic is. So this could also mean that it's perhaps someone's birthday as well. Um, the sun card, which yeah, sometimes can indicate your sun sign. So perhaps any Geminis out there. Actually, I think we switch into Gemini season next week. So perhaps it's your time coming and you have been waiting for something to take off for you to shine. And sometimes perhaps around our birthday times, it tends to be a time where you are a lot more seen and you get to be a bit more in your limelight. You get to be reflective of the past year. And perhaps for some of you, that past year may not have been the best, which may reflect a beginning of something new. So I'm giving a shout out to all my Geminis who are watching this. If you are a Gemini, just leave a comment down below as well. Do let me know. But this is all about, if you're not a Gemini, this is really going to be about where your personality fits, where you feel very much in your element. This is about, yeah, this is really about having a week or a time ahead which feels just like you can relax a bit, maybe you've had some turbulent time. Maybe you have been thinking a lot about what the next steps are. Um, Maybe you've been thinking about money situations. How am I meant to actually get to this money, through this money obstacle that I'm having? It's kind of like that, that you have just not been able to sleep well. The other thing I get here is also we do see a meditative woman here. Um, it's very much someone who is following their routines, following their um like morning rituals. Rituals is what I get. Start delving into your rituals. It's really, really important at this time. Your rituals are going to be taking you somewhere, and that's the grounding you'll need for the next stage of your life. I've noticed and I talk about this because I follow an Ayurvedic lifestyle. It's made a massive difference to my life. And now, when I don't follow that kind of lifestyle, I'm noticing the difference. I'm noticing when I'm off, like slightly off, what food that I'm eating that's just not sitting right with me. It's just becoming glaringly obvious that certain things I'm just not meant to be really even paying attention, not paying attention to, what's the word? Giving attention to, right? Like it's really like, okay, this food does not sit well with me. It's time to park it away. It's like becoming glaringly obvious. Whereas in the past, maybe you would have been like, okay, well, maybe you have certain symptoms, fine. You just kind of leave it out. You don't really think much about it. But this time, your health and what is being demanded of your body is going to be a lot more. You're going to require stamina. Oh, the other thing that I get here is if you are interested in astrological aspects, we do have Jupiter very soon, in literally a few weeks, going into the sign of Cancer. Now, this is going to be good for everyone. This is according to the Western astrology. This is going to be good for literally majority of the signs. And if you're Cancer rising like me, definitely for you, this is going to be a great time. But it doesn't matter, whatever sign you are, this is going to be great because it leads. Jupiter sits very well in the sign of Cancer. Previously, it was in the sign of Gemini, which is all about your mind. So it expanded whatever was in your mind. So perhaps you had quite a chaotic time in the last year. Maybe you had certain ideas, but then you had those ideas were so like wonderful, but also really ungrounding at times. I definitely felt that way, but this time Jupiter sits well in the sign of Cancer. It allows your emotional um, well-being to be really seen. It expands a higher level of learning, a higher level of self-expression within you. Depends on which house it sits in as well. But definitely you will see much, it would be much better than Jupiter being in Gemini. So that's what I'm getting here for the Sun card. That there are much better times ahead, much better times ahead. The Hierophant. Okay, the Hierophant card indicates higher level of learning or past a spiritual test. What I get here is you've been through a lot recently. Someone here has been through just lesson after lesson, and the word that I get for this card, the Hierophant card, is contract is complete. Contract is complete. So whichever aspect of your life that you have felt like, gosh, why is it repeating still? Why does it keep coming back? I thought I left this situation in the past. I thought I was done with this lesson and it kept repeating. And that has come to completion, right? It's finished. It is time for that to really be parked in the back. Um, because there was something that had to be learned there. And sometimes the lesson is just pay attention to it. I'll give an example of my life. So yesterday, yesterday I watched a film and sorry, not film, a Netflix TV show. It's called From Scratch, and it is beautiful but quite sad. Beautiful but very like bittersweet romance, but it is very, very like it's a really nice romance, kind of like beautiful family dynamics, kind of travel, everything packed into one. Really beautiful, just quite sad. Anyway, so I felt myself really like getting emotional straight after it. So since I was getting quite emotional straight after, I thought, okay, well, I may as well like, and I don't necessarily cry like in front of people. I tend to cry more behind the scenes. And I was like, okay, well, once I finished, I let it, really kind of go through me. And what came after that was just like certain things that I was processing. And that, just like by watching this movie, literally brought about certain things I hadn't fully processed. And Scorpio full moon last week was a big one. And I firmly believe that I'm still, or people are still, kind of dealing with remnants of that. Um, because for me, it was like on the day I didn't, the what I felt was just the surge of power, the stepping into my power, not necessarily like deep like transformations, but I have had deep transformation, but that was as a result of stepping into my power. And perhaps that was something like that for you too, because I've been feeling a lot more like, right, now. Now things are making a lot more sense. Why I had to go through that, why this pattern came up. And these were big rooted patterns, things that I felt shame about. And perhaps for you, this may also be the case that you have had a certain aspect of you come up which makes you feel kind of shame. If you haven't already, I do recommend to use ChatGPT as well, ChatGPT function. So day to day, when you want a release of a certain emotion, you can actually put it in there. Again, do check the implications of putting this out there because, we don't know the effects of it at the moment. There's a lot of effects as in like we don't know about where is the data necessarily being used that everyone is talking about. Everything you search, where is it going to be stored? What is it being used for? We don't know that yet. There are a lot of environmental implications, so do really consider about that. But it is a great tool, and sometimes the great tools can really help us manage our emotions day to day, especially if you feel like you're not sure exactly how to really process it. But of course, nothing beats an in-person coaching, reading, healing session. There's nothing that can beat that. But this is if you're feeling especially anxious, especially really, really anxious, that may help you in those moments. However, if you're feeling like these certain emotions just need processing, further processing. You need someone to really understand your specific situation, someone who can really guide you in managing that much better so that in the future you don't beat yourself up so much. You're not talking to yourself like, gosh, why did I do that? Why am I too much? That was something that was coming up for me, you know? And like yeah, just the word like why am I too much? When I really started thinking about it. Am I actually, am I actually too much, or is it just that I'm expressive? And perhaps that's something like that for you too, because those emotions, if they are not processed, they can lead to shame. And that shame gets stored in somewhere in your body, and that will then further fester or just stay there. That leads to either chakra blockages or an ailment in the body. So it's really, really important that you process those emotions. And that's why I'm recommending either ChatGPT, hiring a coach, getting a healer. Of course, it's not going to be, hiring a coach and getting a healer compared to ChatGPT, but what I do care about you, I care about all my clients. And that's why I'm saying really allow yourself to process those emotions if, in those moments. So, that was a very long-winded message, but it's really, really important because those are going to hold you back otherwise. And now we're entering a new phase where momentum is going to pick up. And I see that with this night of inspiration. I clearly see that now here with the Knight of Inspiration, which is Knight of Wands. Fast momentum is coming. Next week, you might see we have the Sun card, we have fast momentum, lots of fireworks kind of energy I'm getting here. Lots of like forward moving fireworks kind of energy. This is going to require you to really move with the yeah, going along with the momentum, basically, the universe's momentum, where it's going to take you. It is time to step into that so that you are being taken with it, right? So, but in order to be taken with it, you need to have stamina, you need to have your boundaries protected, and you need to make sure that you are eating healthier as well. It's really, really important because that will block your energy, especially if you're starting a business and wanting to enter a new relationship. This is important. Right, let's get a few more cards. Oh, I've been recording actually. Muse of Inspiration. Gosh, another Wands card. This is King of Wands. Passionate, fiery energy. Look at that. Look at that. I love that card actually. It feels like it's very much stepping into your power of passion, excitement, and really kind of like, yeah. For me, this feels for some people really what lights you up. You're maybe clear on that. Are you clear on your vision? It's really great time to get clear on your vision right now because next week you will be stepping more into that power. If you're not clear on that vision, I do offer my services where we go through a tarot reading exactly like this, or if you need more of a, clarity on more of your strategy and something, that's also what I offer, accountability coaching or a tarot reading in which we really delve into what is blocking you or how can we get more clarity. Cards are a great way to provide you that. And these readings are, of course, more general readings. They are for a collective, so it's not necessarily just for one person. But if you are wanting a private reading, do check out the link on how to book in my description box below, or you can, of course, send me an email or a message on Instagram. Okay, right. Let's get some cards from this. What else do we get? White Witch, be the light. Such a beautiful card. Yeah, such a beautiful card. You hold such wisdom. You hold such wisdom within you. You hold such um these lessons that you have learned in the past years, the person that you have become. It's so beautiful. And you're really being called to not dim that light at all. Because what you are projecting into the world from now on, especially, is really going to be seen. Every room that you're going to walk into, you are going to be the light this time. And that's not, and that is whether you like it or not, to be honest. You are going to be the light because you have done quite a lot of work on yourself. If you've done inner work, healing, you've been through coaching sessions as well. You have just really delved into yourself, improving yourself. You're going to be the light in the room that you enter, whether you like it or not. And that's going to trigger certain people. That is going to affect certain people. Some people are going to be like, okay, who is she? Who is he? That you are going to get looked at, but it's your job to not shy away from that. Own your power. You are going to be in this light. You have all this passion and fiery energy within you. You're going to be lighting up a room wherever you go, whatever you do next. So make sure you own that power. Don't shy away. Don't pull yourself back. Dim your light. This is not the time to do it. This is your time for a big career break, for being noticed in a relationship. The love of your life may walk in and you are meant to be seen. So don't dim your light. Don't go into a self-deprecating mode at this point, especially if you've been more of a people pleaser in the past. This is not the time to do it. Adapt an alter ego or a persona that will help you just step into that. It's not the time to dim your light, is what I get here. Maybe there's an opportunity coming. Oh, that definitely. Oh, okay. Traveler, move in new direction. Yeah, you probably are going to be getting some sort of opportunity which is going to move you into a new direction. Maybe you're even traveling. Yeah, perhaps you're going to a certain place and you can't anticipate what that looks like, what that means, but it definitely is a move in a new direction. So you need to really be open for that. Set your sights higher. Okay, the we get this card a lot. I've got this card in so many readings that I've done. Set your sights higher. If you are still kind of looking at someone from the past, looking at people from the past, considering what it may be like, to go back to that person or someone, you used to date, or perhaps you're considering going back, you took a leap of faith and you're considering going back to a previous job or something like that. Set your sights higher. Really set your sights higher. Do consider, why do you want to go back? Is it for safety? Is it so that you don't have to deal with the fear of, stepping into the new? Or is it because you feel like there's some more expansion to be done there? If there's more expansion to be done there, understandable, but do inquire all the details that you need to. However, usually going back to something you left, um, not always the best idea. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works in some cases. I'm sure there are certain cases, where people who um, fell in love at a certain point where either were too young, or it wasn't the right time or something like that. And then they later on connect and they're both single, or somehow the timing just aligns and things just happen very well. Understandable. That makes sense that, those things can happen, but that requires you and the other person to be on a similar growth journey. If it's a different growth journey, it's going to be really hard, especially if you're watching a channel like this. You are on a growth journey, you are on a spiritual journey, and you going back to something that you actually left, is going to be um there's just a potential of you being kind of pulled into who you were, your previous version, whereas you have transformed so much that that may not be possible. So do consider this, that perhaps you're wanting to manifest an ex or like someone from the past. Do really consider why you are wanting to do it. And most likely, in fact, in all cases, it's going to be because of how you felt at the time about yourself, not necessarily just about the person, but also about yourself. Perhaps was that a time where you felt really good in your body? Did you feel really like you had a lot of money, everything else was going really well? just all the other components was so in place that it makes you feel like, right, if I do step back into that version, that's what you're actually wanting, not necessarily just that person. It's just the person happened to be there in those circumstances when you were just thriving and you were the light. That is what I'm getting. Be the light. And the Sun card here that we get, King of Inspiration, Knight of Inspiration, Wands, passion, energy. That's because that is you. You were the one in the past who was like this. The other person just happened to be there, who happened to witness that light within you. Or perhaps that person happened to be someone who showed you how to be that light. Perhaps maybe you were more introverted and they showed you how to be a bit more, not extroverted, but more just lively out there. So you got to be out of your comfort zone. They showed you those aspects of you. Maybe it's just the version of you that you're wanting from that time, or the version of them that you're wanting can't really come into play because you have changed, you are different. However, I'm not going to say that, it doesn't happen. It can, but they need to be on a similar growth journey, or at least they need to be open to being on a growth journey. That's what I would say. Okay, I'm going to get last card. Right. These are going to be direct messages. Give it the time it needs. You're in nurturing phase, probably. Either it's nurturing this is for someone specific. So give it the time it needs. Whatever question you thought of right now, or just before this, whatever question that comes up, as soon as I read this card out, that's what the answer is for. So this may not necessarily link to the previous cards, but this card is the answer to whatever you thought right now. Okay. You are always shifting. I think this one links to the card the message that I was just talking about, which is that you perhaps are wanting to connect with this person. You maybe met them at this point of your life, right? It's still a high, but just it was in the past at a different point in life. And now you are perhaps somewhere here, right? So when you compare this point of your life to this point, it just seems like, gosh, that was such a high. That was so great. You had everything going. You were on the top here, but that doesn't mean that you're not on the top here. You are getting there. It's just that you are also further along, right? And you don't know where this person is. Maybe this person is like here or here. You don't know. We can't control that. And it's easier said than done. But I'm getting a specific message here that someone is thinking about their ex or someone from the past, but they might have come to your life at a point where you were here and they met you there. And then perhaps after that, you decided to take this next journey along here. Maybe they decided to stay there, or we don't know, right? We don't know. But here, what I'm getting is that you have this climb to do for your own mountain, and you don't know what is on the top there. And it might be something incredible. It might be something so much more incredible right at the top there. And that is something you can't see at the moment. But given that you have all this passion and all this being seen energy, you're going to be seen from a different light. Given that all of that is coming, it can only get better. It can only get better. So do allow yourself to feel that last card. Release. Time to release. Whatever it is that you're thinking of, it's time to release. Yeah, I definitely had that this weekend. I definitely felt like I've really deeply released something from the past. Scorpio full moon didn't didn't spare anyone, and definitely didn't spare me. And I definitely felt this one quite a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I will post a lot more readings now since now this is what I'm doing full time. This is my passion, and I have switched and I've taken a leap of faith, and this is my true deep way of showing up for anyone who requires healing and really guidance in this time. And that is what I'm here to do. So if you did like it, and do let me know anything that resonates in the comments below. I love hearing from all of you, and I love connecting with the community that is on this page. I absolutely love it, and yeah, and I'll see you in the next one.